better late than never. Today, I'm bringing you my February wrap-up part 2. And while I do that, I'm going to be making a nice Nutri smoothie to take to work with me. I have been getting really into my health, my happiness, my fitness. I've been doing Nutri almost every day during the week. I've been running, I think last week I did a total of like 25k throughout 4 days. I'm just loving it. So just getting back to work in this healthy routine has been fantastic, and swinging into March, things are just going well. Letting go of really shit things in my life and just getting healthy and happy. So, the second half of February, firstly, what I'm going to do with my Nutri I'm going to put some spinach in. I love spinach so much. Now I'm going to chop up some ginger while we chat about the first book of this video, and that is Beach Read by Emily Henry. So I am not a romance reader at all, but considering February was the month of love, I was like, okay, let's just get involved. So I decided to pick it up, and there were a few things that intrigued me about it. One is that it's about writers. So our main character, January, is a romance novelist, but she no longer believes in love, which could be me, really. So I already loved her to bits. And then the other guy in the book, her romantic interest / love to hate kind of trope situation that they've got going on is this guy called Gus. And Gus is her polar opposite. Literally, like, while January writes all these books about couples that live happily ever after, la-di-da, all the happy little endings, he kills off all of his main characters, and he's just... yeah, he writes pretty morbid shit. The only thing they've really got in common is that they're going to spend the next couple of months in like living as neighbours in like these beach houses while they try and work on getting over their writer's block and writing something worthwhile and brilliant that they can make loads of money off and become famous writers. I know quite a couple of booktubers have mentioned that the sex scenes were quite offensive in this book or something, and I'm just like, oh, come on. Like, it's a romance book. Grown adults have sex. Get over it, people. Also, I just finished reading the diabolical Grey by E.L. James, which is the 50 Shades book. So any mention of sex didn't really bother me at this point. However, I just found this book to be so painfully slow-paced. There was so much that just bugged me about this book. Like the miscommunication between the two main characters, how Gus was just this absolute mindfuck of a character. I couldn't stand it. It was just so American. I'm sorry to my American people out there, but come on, like just the level of drama, the unnecessariness of it all just irked me. Yeah, I guess overall I could not sympathise or empathise with any of the characters, and it just wasn't for me, sadly, sorry. Back to my normal thriller genre, I then picked up The Harpy by Megan Hunter. And this, when I finished reading it, I kind of just like looked around the room and I was like, what the fuck did I just read? Okay, now I'm gonna cut up a full lemon and put that in there. Right. Once I've taken the skin off, obviously. Because that wouldn't taste very nice, I think. So with The Harpy, I am so sad that I didn't enjoy this one more, because from the premise, it sounded like it was going to be an absolute 5-star read for me personally. I mean, it's about this, like, you know, books in general about like tension-packed marriage problems and stuff like that. Like that, I love it. I don't know why, I just do. So this is a book about this couple, and the wife finds out that she's got young kids and everything, and she finds out that her hubby has cheated on her, and in order to gain her forgiveness, he basically says, oh, okay, well, how about I'll give you 3 chances to hurt me just as much as I've hurt you. You can do it 3 times. And I was like, pardon? Like, really? How is that going to fix anything? It's not mature, it's stupid, it's just wrong. Either way, I'm going to chop up a banana now. Either way, I just thought, okay, this is going to be good. This is about like a woman scorned. She's going to get her revenge. And what's she going to do? Like, let's do some really serious damage to this guy because, fuck it, you know, a cheater, to be honest, deserves to die. No offence to any cheaters out there. Actually, all the offence in the world, because cheaters are assholes. Right, so where was I? You know, I was so hoping that she'd get creative with this, but like the first thing that she does, and it's not really a spoiler because it's just so utterly boring, I think the first thing she does is just poison his food and make him retch in the bathroom for ages. That's the first thing she does to hurt him as much as he's hurt her. Like, come on. Like, I don't know. I don't have a very mean-spirited bone in my body, so I don't know how creative I'd be with this kind of stuff. But, like, still, come on. It's a book. I want to read something really good. Okay, I know you're probably going to judge me for this, but I love putting garlic into my Nutri bullet. It's really good for you, raw garlic, so deal with it. It's not for everyone, but I find it delicious. And I'm not kissing anyone lately, so I mean, don't get me wrong, I get what this book was trying to do. I think that it definitely tried to have some kind of a magical realism kind of effect to it, like a black swan feel. You know, like the premise of this book really is a body transforming into something really dark and disturbing and, to be honest, otherworldly. I feel like theatrically this would have been an incredible thing to experience, but in book form I don't quite feel like it packed the punch that we really needed it to. You know, it didn't have that visual kind of effect that you get from a theatre production. So I mean, in Greek mythology, a harpy is kind of like this half bird, half human type thing, kind of like the black swan. And yeah, I think if this was a ballet production, it would have been mesmerizing. However, it just hit the mark. It didn't hit the mark for me with the book form. Right, now I'm gonna put some Actimel probiotic juice into my NutriBullet. This is what it looks like so far. All the healthy goodness. Take a sip of much needed coffee, of which I'm running terrifyingly low on. So this book, I guess, was trying to be some kind of like modern dark fairy tale, but what really irked me about it was that the bones of the book were all based on a woman being driven crazy by her shitty husband. Like, I hate that. I hate that premise in a book. Like, no, it's not fair. Why do we always have to make women out to be this way? Because men drive us crazy. That is the truth. So now I'm going to put some chia seeds in. So I gave that book another 2 out of 5 stars. Then I went on to read a horror book called Dead Lake by Darcy Coates. And this one, oh my goodness, I could not believe how similar it seemed to the book I'm currently writing, a horror, this follow-up, the sequel to It Was You, my very first book. So now I'm going to put some apple cider vinegar in. That's really good for you. Just a little bit, maybe a little bit more. Here we go. So this is a book about an artistic woman who is taking herself away to this cabin to go and get over some kind of like artist block that she's got, a secluded cabin far away on this lake in the woods, just like the premise of my book. And then someone starts stalking her and weird things start to happen. And my book is all about this home invasion. So I was so excited to get into it because I haven't written for a little while, and I thought maybe it would give me some kind of a like inspiration to pick my book back up, which it did, but only because I thought mine was so much better, or is so much better, and I haven't even finished writing it yet. I am a very humble person. So I'll be 100% honest, I don't think novellas are for me. I need bigger books, longer books, so that I have time to really like sympathize and invest myself into this character and her life and her world or his world. I just don't get that from a book that's 2.5 hours long. Yeah, and I just found the main character in Dead Lake, she just did one thing after the other. All her actions led this book into being your typical kind of horror tropey thing. Like, come on, like, how stupid can you be with some of the stuff that she did? And the book also had this like supernatural twist to it, and I'm not really a fan of supernatural stuff. So yeah, once again, 2-star review. That's 3 2-star books already in this video. The second half of February was not a good reading month for me. Okay, the last book I'm going to speak to you about today is What I Did by Kate Bradley. And when I talk about this book, I will be chopping up a little pink lady apple and shoving that into my little mixture. So What I Did by Kate Bradley I thought was really going to be a 5-star read as well, because again, it was like domestic, suspenseful thriller. It's about this woman who is on the run from her husband with their child. She's trying to protect her and her little son. But yeah, he is gonna come and find them. So the basic premise is everything that I enjoy in a book. I know it's not the most like unique of premises really, but you know what? It's what I enjoy. It keeps me on my toes. It's nail biting. It's suspenseful. I bloody love it. Sadly though, I don't even know where to start with this review, to be honest, because it felt like the most confusing book I have read in a long time. But I don't know if that's what the author intended, considering the main character was pretty much doped up on drugs the entire way through this book and didn't really know what was real and what was not. But for the most part, I feel like this book just went right over my head. Right, before I continue, I'm just going to shove some water in here just to make it a little bit more liquidy, and then I'm going to blitz this up. Let's have a look at this yumminess. My green machine. Let's see if it tastes any good. That is yummy and so healthy for you. I normally like putting like frozen berries in there, but can't be asked for that today, so it's a nice green smoothie. And now I'm gonna hard boil some eggs to take to work with me too. Healthy goodness. So I mean, I normally really like alternating timelines in books, like past and present tense and jumping between the two. However, with What I Did, I just could not figure out left from right. It was so confusing. I got whiplash. I mean, I definitely feel like I'm in the minority here, because a lot of people I know have absolutely adored this book. So I think in this instance, maybe you should go on someone else's view rather than mine, because I am in the minority and I don't really know why it didn't really hit the mark with me. I just didn't enjoy it. I mean, there were moments, I mean, I listened to it up in the woods while I was out on my runs in the mornings, and yeah, there were like compelling moments and like disturbing scenes. There were also like a lot of trigger warnings, like animal cruelty. Like, why did you have to snap a dog's back? Why? It's just sad. But then, I mean, again, I just read The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry, in which there's also animal cruelty. So it's a catch-22. I think, I don't know, why did I love The Perfect Child? I mean, so What I Did, the writing's good, yeah, and I will pick up something more from her in the future, definitely. I'll give her another go. It just, I wasn't enamoured by this book, if that makes any sense at all. So yes, I feel like there was a lot that just didn't sit well with me personally in this book, such as another trigger warning for me that I didn't even realise was coming or knew would affect me the way that it did, was the main character is a drug addict, and you get inside the head of someone with an addiction, and you know, because of my family and stuff, I just didn't really want personally to be in that mindset, to go down the rabbit hole of what it's like to be an addict, because it just triggered me into thinking of my mother and how she thinks and how she feels, and I don't want to know that stuff because it just hurts me. So yeah, I think the reasons I didn't enjoy this book as much as most people do is completely personal and not very fair on the author, to be fair. So yeah, with this one, go on someone else's point of view, please. Thank you. That is all I have to say. That is all I have for you today. I have my healthy, yummy breakfast on the go. It's Monday, my hair is orange. We are going to fix it at some point, but not right now. Have a great day, everyone, and I will talk to you soon.